All right, guys. It's Kyle here from InvestiShare. I am sure you're thinking that the world is on fire right now and you're wondering why Bitcoin keeps dropping and not stopping. But don't worry, there's a support level below us that we can watch. If we lose that, then yes, the world is on fire. But we've got lots of time, and I'm going to show you guys my charts and how I'm preparing for the next move and how there's nothing really, you don't have anything to fear about just yet. But I'll show you when you should have the fear sink into your heart and when I'm planning on getting out of the market if this plays out. However, there's a whole other setup that's a lot more bullish, of course, than what's going on right now that I'm specifically preparing for to catch the bottom in this zone and then potentially ride this up to new highs. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll dive into the charts. That way I can help ease the fear that you're going through right now. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so this is the 15-minute time frame for Bitcoin. And right now we are bouncing off a pretty critical level of support. And at the same time, we're scooping up a lot of liquidity that has been taken for a while, that's been left in the market. And now we're grabbing it right now as we speak. Now, if we still continue to go down, which is definitely possible, I'm watching this uptrending momentum right here. This uptrending momentum is from the daily time frame. So if I go over, switch over to the daily time frame here, you can see where I grabbed it from, right? This daily uptrending momentum. I listen to these like more than I listen to my parents. So if we end up having price action come down and we bounce off this and we get a reversal pattern in the lower time frames, I'm jumping in on that long because normally it's very high volume backed. And you can see how I listened to it here when we had this uptrending momentum here with Bitcoin and we lost this and then we dropped hard. So if we lose this level, this uptrending momentum, then there's something to fear there. If we end up losing this area, instead of bouncing off it in confluence with losing this critical zone, then that's enough to basically say we might be having a short-term bear run. So basically, just watch out for this uptrending support and this horizontal box here. I got my chart. There's some liquidity here to be taken. There's also the yearly VWAP that's resting around this area as well. So there's some strong support there if we don't reverse before then. Okay, so right now we're looking strong on the 15-minute. The 15-minute you can listen to it, but it's not as powerful of how the daily, for example, is going to close. So we definitely need to make sure that we have the daily candle stay above this uptrending momentum. Now, I also boxed in a zone. We have this downtrending level of resistance that we got since 72,500. And we can watch this and how it's squeezing against the daily uptrending momentum. So this area here is our final stretch, our final recovery zone. We have to have Bitcoin not only bounce off this zone, or we don't even have to reach it, but if we do reach it, preferably bounce off this zone and break this downtrending resistance, and we would have an amazing entry for a long position. We might be able to do the anticipation trade if we find momentum like we've got right here, and it squeezes us against this daily uptrending support or any of this horizontal levels of support, and it breaks and we get that change of character, then we can do an anticipation trade by entering it a little bit earlier and seeing how we react to the resistance. If we get a rejection, then yeah, maybe should take some off the table. If we lose any momentum, then maybe we'll get out of the entire trade and then reset and try to get a new entry for that break if you're trying to get in before it breaks. That's for more of the more advanced traders, but if you are able to get in early around these zones, just please watch out for this as a potential limitation for your trade, because we can still come up, get rejected, and break the daily momentum. So watch this zone like a hawk. This is the final stretch. This is a 10-day zone. So this is not a short amount of time here that we're looking at. This is 10 days where we could get squeezed and then break to the upside. I do want to show you something that we were looking at this morning during one of our calls relative to the last halving event that we just had a halving. This was the last one here, and we had a large amount of sell pressure. I think it was about 10%. about 10%, 13% drop. And a lot of that sell pressure came in from the miners, people that are helping make Bitcoin and secure the network. They just got a huge pay cut. They just lost half of their income. So now when they're receiving Bitcoin, they're receiving half the amount that they got, but still at the same price that we currently are. So in order for Bitcoin to pay them the same amount that they're getting today, that they were getting before, we need to have price action at $120,000 per Bitcoin in order for them to make the same amount of money that they were before the halving. So if they weren't anticipating or preparing properly for their pay cut, then a lot of them go out of business, and they induce the sell pressure that we're seeing right now. So we're starting to see some miners get out of the game. But if you also look here, look about how we got squeezed right after the halving occurred. Right, we squeezed for about 54 days before we started skyrocketing. We're getting the same type of squeeze effect that we're getting now. Let's go over here. It's not as dramatic. It's not as long term. But if we take it from the top, from where we currently are, and where the apex point is about 34 days. I'm not saying we'll get to that apex point. We don't normally do. It's not very common. But if we do, at least we have a unit of measurement where we can prepare for a move like that. So anyways, bearish case scenario, we have price action come down, and we have this act as resistance, and we get a new lower low. Then we should think about potentially exiting some of our long-term positions. If we end up breaking this to the upside, this is telling us that we need to stay in the market and that we might be seeing new highs soon. So I am looking hopefully for the break of this level. If we get that break, I will definitely let you guys know in the Discord. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I just want to make sure, I'm getting a lot of DMs, and people are, really scared, and they want to know which levels to be watching out for. But right now, we're at our last two levels that we really got to watch for Bitcoin. And if we just zoom in again on the 15-minute, we have the level that we just got a really strong bounce on. So that's looking good so far at 59,230. And then around here at 57.5. 57.5 is kind of like a concrete floor. It's going to be very hard to break through. So I'm anticipating for us to get a big, strong bounce from there if we do even make it down to those levels. Really, right now, based on the structure, we don't have that much of a structural guide to tell us when we're going to get a confirmed recovery. But based on what we've got, we can see that if we break this downtrending evolving momentum right here, that we will have this limitation of this broad momentum here that will prevent us from going up a little further. So we might get a rejection again, and that rejection is going to build a structure, and that structure is what we can use as a guide to know that we actually recovered. So wherever that rejection may be, whether it be here or maybe we go straight up to here, or maybe it's over here. Wherever we meet that level as resistance, we're going to watch that level like a hawk, because that's the area that we're going to want to break above for our change of character to know that we've got a strong recovery. And then we can start targeting towards the downtrending resistance of that level that I just recently showed you here. Because this is going to be our ceiling temporarily for a little bit. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to, help reduce the DMs that I've been getting by giving you guys a YouTube video, and hopefully this helps you guys out. If you have any questions about this, you can reach out to me in the Discord, and have yourself an amazing day. Thank you. Bye.
Hey yo, I'm all about the crypto. In case you don't know, it's the hedge to inflation, the crazy sweep on the nation. No baby, every blockchain and created the same, but the learning curve feels like a bullet to the brain. Let me enlighten ya. Let me enlighten